Judge Judy. That's the chair's name. I don't know why, but
that chair's Judge Judy.
Yeah.
Falls apart.
Yeah, exactly. So, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Carson's Conversations. This is episode 17. We're getting there. We're going to be slowing down a little bit because it's getting back into the school time, and I'm not going to be able to film as much as I normally would. But, yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming in. I'll let you introduce yourself because you've got a crazy project ahead of you, and it's really interesting. It's definitely fascinating with the way the world is kind of taking a turn into understanding more about mental illness and depression and all that type of stuff. So why don't you start off and tell us about yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Dan Pelosini, and I'm the founder of the Ramblr Project. It's pretty much a content-based hub for mental health, and there's a lot of different kind of factors involved, but the whole idea is to kind of find a way to mainstream, normalize, end stigma, and kind of find a way to build a community where we push information that finds you. So it kind of I wouldn't even say like it's something for everybody. I wouldn't even say it's something that's just for people who feel like they're going through something, a mental illness, or if they have some sort of like resemblance. Like this is something for everybody that we're trying to do, and it's just be able to post information that hopefully that they can connect with and use to their advantage. So moving forward.
So what kind of platforms are you focusing on now, and which ones are you using? Because that's also something that's going to be able to reach out even further, because I know if you want to hit like the younger demographic of people just entering school like that, you got to find like Snapchat and stuff, like other ways like that, which is going to work.
Yeah.
So which ways are you using to get into figuring out the best way to do things?
Right now it's like Instagram, which is like the really big one, and then on top of that is like Facebook is like obviously everybody knows it's super integrated within Instagram and all that, and then on top of that we do a little bit of YouTube, but that's kind of something that is like a future project. And then, of course, something like the Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, that stuff kind of is all in the back burner, but it's definitely still in the foundation phase.
Yeah.
So build up through like the three main platforms and then start maybe branching off from some other prospects. So
that's definitely good. That's a real good plan. So I'm more curious about like what kind of started it. Did you ever have your own kind of battles or school issues or anything like that?
Yeah, like I've always been an extremely anxious person. Like I worried a lot when I was young. Like you don't put things together. But, it's something that I share a lot is, like, I remember, like, I played a lot of hockey with my brother and stuff like that, and we'd be in the arena, I'd be, like, 6, 7 years old, we'd be in, like, Fort Erie or wherever we may be, and if I didn't see him in the stands, I'd be like, this dude got kidnapped. He was gone, he was taken,
it was that bad.
Worst case scenario, we go to the grocery store, I'd be, like, same age, maybe, like, 5, 6 again, and my mom would lock the car, we'd go to the grocery store, I'd be like, you didn't lock the car, I'd be freaking out, but at that time, there's, like, nothing even that someone could steal from the car.
Yeah.
So it's, like, this constant, like, worry, anxiety I've always carried. But then over time, it just kind of escalated. It went to like a social anxiety phase kind of throughout high school, which is where I think a lot of people try and figure out who they are.
Yeah,
and it's kind of what direction they want to go. And I was just like in this anxious bubble the time in high school. I had minimal conversations with people. I was more of a follower. Like I had that strong like hockey community of friends, sports community, so I kind of just was more of a follower. And I let kind of other people and society kind of shape who I was as a person because I didn't know. I was still so nervous. I was nervous to be myself. And then, like everything that gets bottled down, suppressed, and kind of bottled up, I should say, and suppressed, and kind of not really looked into, you have a breaking point. So, like, I think mine was like kind of several little breaking points that built up, and that's when I kind of realized, like, oh, something's kind of going on here. Like, I should definitely look further into this and kind of see like what's going on. Like, I need to like literally have to figure out what's going on.
You have to find out what's going on before something gets.
Yeah, so I can move forward and kind of try and start living my life. So.
That's deep. I'm
That's
lucky.
A skim version a little bit too.
It is. Jeez. That's I've never had to experience anything like that, and I've only kind of experienced the output of something getting to the worst point it can get. But that's just and just kind of because I hope this podcast isn't making you anxious in any way.
Oh, dude, not man.
You've gotten a lot better.
My day to day is exactly like this right now.
Oh, really?
Much. Like I tons of communicating with people and. Like literally the same thing.
So what are you doing now? Is it all Ramblr Project or are you?
So I still have a full-time job as well. I work for an electrical company in Burlington, and then Ramblr Project's all kind of like that's what I call it, project. It's more like a passion project. But yeah, usually like let's say I work till 4, then 4 till when I go to bed. There's like a couple hours of time mixed in there where it's always devoted to.
It's always kind of grinding out,
yeah. Yeah, just kind of moving forward and piecing together kind of what I want to do the next week, the next month, the next year, kind of, and
that's great because it's even just doing like the podcast. You have to plan so much in advance, like even just for guests and finding out what people should come on. Like for me, and for finding you, I just went through all the suggested friends on Instagram, and I was just like, who would be a cool person to have one? I was like, the Ramblr Project. Let's see that. I see that there's a whole bunch of people I know that are already following them.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think my brother know a whole bunch of friends you guys know or something like that.
Yeah.
But it just kind of worked out, and I was just like, that's what I got to do constantly if I'm going to try and get it somewhere.
Yeah, the moral story is just like it takes hard work, and I think the tough thing too is like when circling back to like kind of the whole mental health thing is like people take the easiest route, especially when it comes to like what they do and how they live and how like for me it's like even like the career I ended up being in right now was like kind of like not forced upon me, but it's like you know how it is in high school, everything's so rushed. Like they're like like literally usher you into a college university program.
Ridiculous.
And you're kind of trapped in a corner, and then you think like maybe this is the best fit for you. Your parents influence you. You have like friends, society in your school, and then like as I said before, things just kind of like escalate. So it's like now it's kind of just backtracking for lost time and actually doing something that I really
that you actually enjoy. Yeah. So. That's what I've seen with schools and even kind of parents and teachers just kind of pushing a lot of things onto kids our age, and some people that aren't fully set up with their mental stability and stuff like that. It's just not a safe area or a good area for kids to kind of figure out what they want to do with their lives. Because like you said earlier, there's a lot of people still figuring out who they are as a person and what they like and what they want to just have in life and what to do. Yeah. So kind of pushing it on to people is just, it's too early, I think. Did you ever have any issues with like medications? Do you take any anxiety medications or anything like that?
No, I haven't. And
that's good.
Like looking back now to like maybe I should have, especially like in even high school, just after high school. But like as I said before, like my like breaking point, it kind of came like I'm just trying to remember now like the sequence of events. But it was just like I had like a physical breakdown too. Like I kept pulling my groin, and I kept pulling. It was like third time, and I was like it was almost like a tear. I'm like. Everyone kept blaming hockey. The first couple of times was through there. And I was like, man, I just walked across the road. Like, it shouldn't be tearing like that. So then, of course, like, you go the whole route of, like, kind of the whole procedures, like physio, chiro. I did osteo. I did sports medicine. I went to, like, a sports physio, like, therapist, massage, my family doctor. And then finally, I was like, I forget where I was. I was with McMaster at, like, the sports medicine clinic there. And the guy's like, you said the last time wasn't from hockey, right? Like, you get treated thinking it's like he's like, this keeps happening. And like, let's dive a bit deeper into it. And it turns out, because like I've been so anxious for so long and so much anxiety and kind of suppressed stuff in my system that like that energy has to go somewhere. So what it was doing was like shortening all my muscles up in my body because that stress and anxiety has to go somewhere if you think about it. Yeah. I wasn't getting it out of my body. So you have two muscles. I had like my psoas and my adductor, and they both kind of like my adductor literally had like no length to it.
Really?
So when I moved my leg a certain way, it would just keep pulling.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this, so it was all from because your mental health is related to your physical health, right? 100%. Like it's like intertwined, but you don't learn that.
Yeah. So well, they know nothing about it though.
Yeah. Nothing at all. And I was just so pissed off. I'm like, nobody knows about any of this. Like no one knows about any of this. And then, I got to an age where I guess would have been like last year, early this year, and I was like 24, and all my friends like 20. 22, 23, 24, like they're all starting to take on these crazy obstacles in their life, whether it be a family member or friend pass away, or they're done university, have no idea what to do with their life, so they're just crazy, kind of anxious, or they have money issues because now they're on their own, or there's like so many factors that come into these like my friends' lives, and I'm seeing leave my parents, and it's just like no one knows how to deal with it, especially men. Like they have no idea because they don't open up about it, or they're really.
It's a big issue too.
Yeah, guys are emotional, man, but like they're not allowed to. Society, like
it's like the ego kind of takes over, where and it's the egos is the worst thing about anybody really. Like you see so many people that they get stuck in being the man, being the guy that can do everything. And I kind of went through a phase where I was like, oh, let me see, I can do this. I'll do anything for you. Like, let me do that. And then I was just like, no, I physically can't do this. So it will not happen. And it's just like you have to kind of break down those barriers as a person and find it out for yourself. And that's just a really hard thing for people to do, right?
Yeah, it's funny you say it too, because it's like it's like you say be the man. It's like we all have this like template we had to follow, like this like rock formation mold that we're supposed to always be like. When I say I grew up in like the hockey culture, right? Yeah, so it's like it's the same guy, and then everyone's supposed to be molded like that guy. So all you're supposed to carry yourself like that, like be that type of person, like kind of engage in that culture. But then like so many people now are so good at being chameleons, especially guys, right? It seems like every group of guys is the same guy. Yeah. So it's like people are so good at fitting in, but they're not being themselves, and it's like because whenever you go against the grain, you kind of get ridiculed a bit.
That's another big issue.
I kind of blame all that too, like just like kind of where I came up and how I came up and stuff like that too.
And that's such it sucks that it's that way, right? Because sports are meant to be a way for people to kind of not only figure out what they want to do, but it's able for them to make friends and make long-lasting friends. And I know because I've played sports my whole life, hockey and football and stuff like that, that I've known people and I've had a whole bunch of people that have been helping me out through that time, and just we've been able to do stuff or figure out something that's better for me or better for them, and it works like that. But there's always those like once in a while you'll get a group of people that it just doesn't fit, and it causes more stress for the other person. And I'm not sure if that was your scenario, but I've just seen that happen in other groups.
Yeah, it's just like it's kind of almost like turmoil. Yeah, it's just kind of you realize like I'm not this person. Like maybe you are. Like there's a lot of similarities. Like there's overlaps, but it's almost like it feels like we're all like in my friend group, we're all like the same mold.
Yeah.
And then that's when it kind of came to a point. I'm like, nah, like I'm not this. It was like little factors like this, like kept pooling up, right? And then like I was said, like there was that breaking point. It was kind of like physically, mentally. I just like woke up and I had no. This is the same time as like the groin issue and all that and stuff. And I had no motivation. I'd be in bed. I'm like, what am I like? At this point, like I had money, I had opportunity. I can go do whatever I want, really. And I was just like, I had no motivation to do anything. I was like in pain. I was like, this sucks. Like, and that's when I was like, okay, I gotta start figuring this out.
Was it just like a crazy amount of anxiety, or do you think would you categorize it as more of like you're in like a depressive state?
I was in a depressive state for sure, but I was never like suicidal. I was never like...
well there's two different real kind of
there's
parts
a couple
of, there's a couple it's like a spectrum.
Like there's like depression, like obviously like, but I had zero motivation, so yeah, definitely a little bit of a depressed state. But I think I was just so frustrated with like having anxiety and just, you know what I mean, I didn't know what was going on within my body. Like I had all these like muscle issues, and like I knew there was a bigger underlying problem, which there was. So that's why I kind of like I got pushed in the direction and like start finding resources. I started talking to a counselor. I started talking more with my family. I started talking to maybe some of my friends that I know will be a good help. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, I'm doing things more like I'm doing yoga, and like that totally has like
changed because it does it put you just more in a relaxed state? Because I've had one, I wouldn't even say it was a bad experience, but it was just kind of one of those things where you're just like, I don't really want to do this for yoga. And I'll say it, but it was like, it was my Mother's Day gift to my mom that I would take her to a yoga class there. And it ended up being at the yoga place that we went to. It was more or less bring your child to yoga. And I think this was 2 years ago, so I was 14 at the time, 14. And I'm the biggest person there. And at that time I was like 5'10" or something like that. And I'm the biggest person there, and we're trying to do these yoga poses that are like a 2-person yoga pose thing, and everybody's doing it with their little kid, and it was just like, why am I
at that age? Yes,
and it's just like, and then but at that point I was just like, oh no, I'm better than this. I'm too cool to do yoga. But yoga is amazing if you really look into it, and that's kind of it's kind of the community, and you get that right where there's people that, for me as a person, I was more of a, oh no, I'm too cool for this, where it's just pointless, and that goes along with a whole bunch of different things. Yeah. Right.
No, it's game changing for sure. It's like super broad. Like yoga, it's like people think it's like just stretching and breathing. Like really, it's like I do that like as a soul. Like that's one of my only things I do to work out now. I go like 2-3 times a week, go to different types of yoga, but it's just like it's a balance, because I said, like as I mentioned before, like physical, mental health's connected. Yeah. But you go to the gym, you're just working on your physical health, right? You're working all day, you go to the gym, like you're just working on your physical health. You're not really working on your mental health. You're not really like finding a way to balance the two. Yeah. Whereas like there's like a yoga practice, like it's like really popular. It's called yin, and I like an infused yin where you like work out really tough in the yoga class to get your heart rate up really high, and you do tons of like different exercises that kind of really like, push you to the limit. But then the last part of the class is like they want to drop everything. So you go from this crazy high, like kind of breathing, heart rate kind of mode, like you're crazy, just like on this like crazy high. Then all of a sudden the whole idea is like you hold poses for like 5 to 10 minutes each. And the whole idea is like, because you're go is to try and find like calmness in chaotic moments. So they're the kind of like where that happens in real life. Let's say you're in traffic, you're late for work, you're gonna be chaotic, you get to work. Whereas this kind of like finds a way to kind of like interrupt that by because you're training your mind and your body to be like, I can totally like calm myself down in these stressful situations, but then also get a good workout. And also it's just like, I don't know, I see it like, for me personally, it's like phenomenal. It's been game changing. So.
It's been amazing.
Yeah. Like I don't go to the gym really anymore at all. So I just do yoga.
That's another cool thing to just kind of changing not only the perspective of just going, I need to work out just this part, but I'm more you're focusing more on the mind. That's fascinating, really. And so you've been bringing not only your experiences with that, but have you've been having other people on as well? Just kind of like those videos I've seen that you're talking about, you're doing YouTube and stuff like that. So what were you doing there?
Yeah, it started off just kind of, as I said, like early on the website, it's just blogs, like people just kind of putting blog entries, and that's when I kind of like, it kind of snowballed. Then I realized like, wow, what if I could actually translate this to videos? And I'm like, what if I could actually translate this to like the content hub for like mental health, personal growth, stuff like that. And I kind of like I think it was like January of this year, I was like kind of stopped everything I was doing with the whole clothing side of things. I'm like, I kind of found a new path of just like finding kind of content that people can grab onto. So then from there, it kind of just, I started just meeting people who had really cool stories. Like there was like a month time where I just kept running into people, like some of them were complete strangers. I'd overhear them talk or like bump into them or something, and it was just like, I'm like, I have to talk to this person, like similar to what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And then I kind of asked them, hey, you care if I like film some of this or kind of capture some of this somehow? And then along one of those guys I met ended up being like, dude, let's do a podcast. So let's kind of like find a way to further do this. So a lot of the video clips are from podcasts and stuff like that. And it's just because like I can share my story and provide a platform, but if I can just get constant people to come in and share perspectives and share stories, then all it does is just kind of build up a way wider range of people that, you know what I mean, you can add assistance to or kind of add connection
Exactly. If you can bring in as much people that are not only at the earlier stages of the same experience you've had, then you can kind of be the modern Dr. Phil, I guess, and just bringing in and kind of solving other people's problems and helping them get through things. And that, not only is that something great to do, but you can definitely monetize that through ads and stuff like that for things that are, because I know you started a clothing man and you're talking about entrepreneurship stuff. So money is definitely an incentive for you, I'm assuming. Not for this topic though.
I know what you're saying, yeah, but like it wasn't like, not really. It was the whole idea is kind of aimed towards like a not-for-profit or head down that road. It was more just because like I always like love kind of designing and drawing and doodling, and just kind of like it was easy with the clothing. And like I wanted to find a way to kind of like be in the mental health community and help. I had no education on it.
Yeah.
But over the past like year, I've just kind of learned so much and been around so many people, and like my experiences, all these people I've met, their experiences, I'm like, I see a way bigger need, and that kind of like directed the ship in the direction of like turning into this whole like I said, the hub
project. Yeah, so you can, either way, you can still generate profit and put that directly back into helping more people. That's what I was trying to going at to, right? Yeah. So it's not profit for you so you can get your Lamborghini, but it's more profit so you can find more people to bring in and more people to have
add some sustainability for,
exactly.
For
so
like what we're trying to do.
That's insane. So you were talking earlier, and we were kind of going into this before we started recording, but getting people to open up, I think that would be kind of hard for somebody to talk about just all those bad experiences they've had or something terrible has happened in their life.
Yeah.
And you just kind of see them at a coffee shop. Was it hard for people to open up to you, or was it easy? Were they just kind of comfortable with you?
There obviously, as a lot of people approach me, they're all pretty comfortable. Even some of the people who have approached me, they're like, wow, it's the first time I ever talked like that before, like opened up like fully like that. But a lot of these people are people who have overcame obstacles that like some people might find themselves in. So they have like, it's not like they're like in desperation mode. Like most of them are like confident, somewhat more confident individuals.
Yeah, they figured it out.
And they're more open because they've been through that storm. So they're kind of like they're still climbing. They still have their struggles. Don't be wrong, but like they're so much more confident, like sharing the story and then realizing that like, holy crap, this is what I did to get over that. Like I should be sharing this because like I feel like it helps something else. So it's a lot of that going on.
That is crazy. So for you, the project is something big in your life, definitely, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So how did it help you kind of overcome, like when you're going through your issues? Did you ever use like your doodling or drawing, and when you created that logo and the brand, did that help you kind of like figure it out, or was this before everything?
Yeah. So I sure brought this up earlier in the kind of like the beginning of the project, but like when I was young, same to this, like I've always doodled and drawn. Like it started off when I was really young. I did like hockey players or cars or stuff I was really fascinated to, design houses or something like that. And it kind of like whenever I started putting a correlation together of like whenever I was super anxious, I'd just sit at my desk, or like in high school or whatever, even too, I just doodle and draw like where like stick men or
just random stuff, yeah.
And I started like processing all that. I'm like, wow, like doodling is a way for me to kind of like escape my anxiety, kind of a way to combat it. And I didn't even realize it was like subconscious, it was just like there. And so that's why I started doing logos and tons of like little stuff. And then that's where kind of all the Ramblr Project logos came from, was some of the drawings I had and doodles. And I was like, wow, this would look really cool together. But it's like still something I do all the time. I love it. I love just kind of like...
So it's something that you help? So if you ever get 100%, into a stressful moment, you're just like, oh, I'll put a little pencil.
Sometimes, yeah. If I'm sitting at a table, I'm just kind of just like, I'll put the phone down. I'll just start like literally just like doodling whatever's on my mind, or I'll put something up. And yeah, it's therapeutic for me for sure. So, and that was kind of like turned me in the direction of like design and then clothing, and then obviously snowballed into the project because I realized like how like at first I'd be terrified for something like this, especially like when I was your age. I would be like, this wouldn't happen. I'd be so terrified, man. Like I can't talk to strangers. I think a lot of people don't know how to communicate properly still, but like I know how to communicate at all. like especially girls. Couldn't talk to girls
Yep.
like one bit. And then yeah, it started opening up, like a light switch went off, and now like I love this. Like I love like encounters with strangers and sharing perspectives. That's why I love traveling so much, because I can go to these isolated or different areas and just communicate with people and just talk about life, not talk about like you know what I mean, some things that like complaining about your phone or complaining about your car. It's like you're out there talking about life. So it's like life experience.
Or just pointless things. Like sometimes, and I know a lot of people that really love politics, but there's sometimes it's just like that's not the place. I enjoy listening to a good political conversation every once in a while, but when it's a constant thing, that also brings up the stress and just other people. It's just like, oh, come on, I don't want to hear this. So it's definitely nice to see that you're definitely enjoying life the way it really should have been and should be, because you're relaxed and you're focusing on things that actually matter to you, right?
Yeah, it's just doing what you want to do too, and I then once you find a bit of self-worth and purpose, you kind of like, it gives you a bit more direction too, and it kind of, that's why I realized like I went through all this stuff of like trying to figure out like resources for myself, but everyone's different, especially when it comes to your mind and your body. It's like everyone has a different resource. But if you can find a way to like, so these people don't have to go through these like struggles of a year long or even lifelong struggle of like trying to find assistance, then like if I can just put information out there they can grab onto, that might be able to like be a shortcut
for sure
for what they're looking for. That's something worth doing for me.
Do you ever think that social media is has a negative effect on people with, say, anxiety and stuff like that? Because I think there's some people that post a lot about on social media, and I feel like that hurts their mental health more than anything else.
100%. Like, but you have to like, there's like two things to this point. Like one, like a lot of to do with like, you see a lot of like, I'm gonna say girls, females for sure, because you have like the Kylie Jenners and the influencers and stuff like that.
Like the people that look perfect kind of thing.
Exactly. So it's like, but a lot of people don't realize like Instagram's a highlight reel, especially when it comes to like people's personal photos who are famous, stuff like that. Like it's a highlight reel of, it's like the best. They never show the worst, because like obviously they think no one wants to see that. But like we have to realize that like we're in 2019, like we're only gonna become more and more connected with like the world and people and like photos and video and stuff like this. So it's one of those things like you have to learn how to like adapt, but you have to learn how to be open minded and step away, because like there's so many people who are so caught up in their image and like how they portray themselves on social media, they're actually forgetting about how they are in real life, and just there's a huge disconnection there. So I think it's just like the expectation versus reality thing, being able to like, you know, find that, because everyone's expectations are so high when it comes through growing up. It's like I grew up mostly on social media. You would have grew up like right in the middle of it. So, and you still are going through it too, and like same with myself. And it's just like, but you have to be able to like make that disconnection, because otherwise then you'll get caught up in it. So yes and no, like we have to learn how to like adapt, but that's why I want to use that to my advantage to kind of get the information through that.
It's also really nice though to see big social media platforms like Instagram kind of being more self-aware though, like with removing likes. That really takes away all the gratification that you would get from, I gotta say, like, I'll get a view and I'll just be like, oh, that's great. But I've also got to step back and go, that doesn't mean that what I'm doing is still bad if I'm getting low views on that. That just means it didn't hit the right place, and I got to find a better way to do it.
Yeah.
So do you think that's, like, it's really, like, it is nice to see the other people and other companies taking off views and stuff like that. So is there any other way that you could see, like, in the future, implementing something that would motivate people and help them get off the or like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that like people should be posting things more for themselves, not more to try. People are trying to post things to impress others. Yeah, that's why as soon as people post photos, 90% of people, they'll go to like their activity feed or whatever, and they'll keep refreshing to see how many people like their photo, right? 100%. They're not actually being like, wow, it's a good moment, I'm gonna move on, deal with this other life problem, it's everything I have to do. I'm gonna sit there for an hour and keep refreshing my phone screen and check it in the morning. And again, it's like an ego filler, and we grew up through that. Like, I catch myself doing that sometimes too. And I think, but yeah, there's obviously ways you can always be better, but I think it comes down to the person itself, because like Instagram, stuff like that, like it's pretty much, that's very good on Instagram. It's unbelievable, taking like likes away and even followers or something. But I think like eventually, like you got to realize it's only going to keep getting worse and worse. So it's like giving people information and like trying to find a way to kind of, I don't know, stop, but kind of like let them know like, hey, like, chill out for a second, like go live real life. Like
I think the only way for people to really do that is to have like a family member go, hey bud, something's wrong, you gotta kind of step back. Like did that ever happen for you? Did somebody, or was it all mental for you, like finding out I'm struggling here? Did somebody step in and help you or anything like that?
Yeah, like I always do. My parents always knew I was like a super anxious person. I remember I'm sitting like this right now. I remember like when I was a kid, I'd be driving next to my dad, like just sitting in the passenger seat, like dude, like relax, like sitting. And there's always like little things that kind of blip your memory, but they were never kind of like, yo, you should maybe, you know, go talk to your doctor, or go, they were never kind of, they didn't really understand it either. Like, I think I kind of came up with this, like, new age anxiety where a lot of it was social based and, like, kind of expectation based, and, like, where it wasn't something they were kind of ready for. So it's, I didn't say ready for, like, it was a huge dampener, but no, they were kind of surprised too, I think. So it wasn't like they could push me in a direction, because I was, like, kind of started explaining what was going on, like, whoa, like, that's a lot. Not really a lot, but just kind of like, it makes sense. It was just kind of connecting dots more or less. So,
but it is a lot to as someone, if I can't imagine going through what you did at my age, like at the same age, sorry, but because that's just so much extra things to kind of deal with, plus finding yourself and growing up and figuring out what you want to do with your life. Yeah. So all that other exterior pressure came on. That's a pain, and that's just something that I definitely think the project's going to help fix people, and not only fix minds more or less, because it's a great project, and it's something that's really going to help people grow and find themselves and all that other stuff. So let me segue this into another question kind of thing is, do you want to do this for as long as possible? Is there an end goal, or is there anything like that?
No, I don't really see like a ceiling or an end goal. I just kind of want to keep like chugging along, and it's obviously like the same thing with you as soon as you kind of like explore ways you can grow and maybe make a bigger impact, but it's kind of just like one step at a time. And like I kind of realized like I enjoy doing like what I'm doing right now. I enjoy meeting these people and finding ways to share their stories, and then kind of I enjoy kind of the challenge of mainstreaming like conversation about mental health and mainstreaming personal growth, and letting people know it's like okay to kind of talk about it, or at least kind of look into it to find connections. So many people are just like, they think, oh, that's how it is, right? They put themselves in a corner, and I'm trying to like let people know like there's no ceiling to what they want to do too, right? So I'm kind of like, and that really fascinates me.
Exactly.
So I don't see myself like stepping back or stepping down. It's kind of where I want to go. So
that's great. Just continue doing what you're doing, because it is honestly amazing. Because if you continue to do what you're doing and continue to grow and continue to find things like that, the world will just be a better place.
Yeah.
And I hope heart to heart, because that is it's amazing finding someone that, like, because you're a young guy, you've got a good job, you're doing all that stuff, finding something that you're really passionate about, and it's not only about yourself, it's not only about making yourself money, but it's making other people's lives better. That it's very honorable.
Yeah, no, and like another really quick thing to add too is just like let people know, like for me it's like I need to go through that struggle. I need the mistakes to find the clarity of what I want to do now. Yeah. So it's like you need like I may look back to when I was like, I don't know, like 17 to 23 or 22, and it's just like I needed everything to happen in that time frame to get me right now. Yeah. So it's just like you need those ups and downs. I can't just think like, oh, what's my passion right now? It's like just go start doing stuff, like start moving, start trying things and trial and error. Like you need mistakes for success. So the same thing.
All right, man. I'm worried my camera will shut off, and that's a constant joke that happens on my podcast. But
no problem.
Thank you so much for coming on. This has been not only informative, but I hope it leads people to your page, and just so more people can learn about what you're doing and maybe even help out and stuff like that. So everybody check out the Ramblr Project. Everything's going to be linked below, Instagram, all that stuff. I can link your actual accounts down below as well. Anything you want, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Thanks, guys, for coming for another episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for the listeners and the viewers on YouTube and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thanks again, guys. Have a good one.